Hello everyone, Mike Adams here. We are coming at you actually from Stream, our corporate headquarters. Today is episode 2 of AI, Adams Insights. Thought we would bring in submarket experts, whether it's contractors, architects, lenders, kind of you name it. And we are really fired up today to have Dickson with us. He was actually in our office and I grabbed him and pulled him and said, hey, you need to be on the first show. So be easy on us because this isn't prepared, this isn't rehearsed, this is very off the cuff, but we think as far as emerging trends in design, there's nobody better to speak with than him. Recently started his own shop, which I think is awesome and fantastic. I'm going to try to kick you off, right? Which is super cool. I don't think I've ever seen it. His LinkedIn actually says he is a badass innovator in the design front. Pretty aggressive, calling yourself a badass in your LinkedIn. I think that's awesome. We've worked with him during his SAA days from a communication and a turnaround time standpoint, in my opinion, and we'll probably get some frustrated emails from some of the other groups that we work with. There's nobody that's better.
Thank you.
Super diligent, super quick to respond, always has great work product. Did I miss anything?
No, I think it's good.
Okay, so here's the part where you're gonna start talking a lot more than me, because that's what the people want. So I saw something on your LinkedIn profile, Fit Well Ambassador. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so health and wellness design, especially, it actually started before COVID, but because of COVID, it's put healthy design in the spotlight. So Well and Fit Well are just two organizations who offer certification for designs in helping occupants with their health. Mental health as well as the physical aspects of it.
Okay.
So relatively new.
Great. So you hear the office is dead, nobody's returning to the workplace. You hear all these, things get thrown around all the time. What changes have you seen in design since COVID?
Yeah. So if I actually showed you all the floor plans that we've been doing, you probably can't see anything physically on the plans. But there has actually been a lot of nuances, the shift. The tenants are more cognizant of what the purpose of the office is, and they're really questioning it, which is, in my opinion, a much better product. They are more focused on what it is about their space that makes them who they are. And so it's each space is more customized to their needs and to their own culture and to their business.
So coupling off that, we talked a little bit about the changes. What are the trends that you're seeing on a go forward?
Trends, I think the trend is more customized approach. Not so much design trends in terms of color or specific layout, but the tenant spaces are more catered for their own business. So back to how they work. That's the number one question that we always address. Not how many offices do you have, it's how do you work, how do you integrate, work with others, work with your clients, what you want to see and what your vision is.
Interesting. So we talked earlier, you said you're currently working on 30 active projects. I think it'd be interesting for everybody to hear, are those folks, are they new deals? Are they expansions? Or are people giving back space? And what does that look like? Maybe just on a percentage basis.
We have a combination of all of them. Surprisingly, the give back or the downsizing is very, very small. It's probably like 10%.
Okay.
Most of the deals are new, some expansions. I would say 85% of those are the new deals.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow. And like, let's call maybe on the office deals that you're working, where are they professional services, financial services, law firms, or is it tech, or where are you seeing most of those transactions?
Yeah. Not so much the mortgage companies. I think that one has dropped off significantly, but we do have.
With rates goes the mortgage companies, right?
Yes. And mostly it's financial and professional services. We do have some tech companies that are also taking up a lot of space, and specialty manufacturers or electronic companies also in the
Interesting.
works.
Got it.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about what tenants want from a spec suite standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing the actual cost of completion on spec suites cost?
Yeah, so it ranges, spec suite cost ranges a lot depending on location, the type of building, and the ownership.
Okay.
But it has risen significantly in the past year or two. So I think right now, if you're doing a spec suite with very generic office space and cubicles and maybe a nice area in the reception and a break room, you're looking at about $85 a foot.
Wow. Yikes. That's a big number.
Yes.
That is a big number. So something else that also came up earlier, you were saying that people mischaracterize creative office.
Mhm.
Drill down on that a little bit.
Yeah, so especially before COVID, there's this almost this magic word, right? Everybody wants a creative office, and it's almost uncreative because it went distilled down to if you have open ceiling somewhere, if you have a concrete floor, it's characterized as creative office.
Sure.
But the funny thing is that many people have been using creative office wrongly. They see that it's an open plan, so they start cramming in a lot of workstations just for the density. But for a true creative office to function and have the full effect, it's the space itself is not creative. It's how we get people to interact that makes that creative.
Yeah.
So first of all, density, we want to control it. We still want to control it to closer to the 4 per thousand or 250 square foot per person. And the concept behind a creative office is to minimize the personal space and maximize the common space that people can work and collaborate together. So with the extra space that we have, we introduce collision spaces, collaboration spaces, different zones of privacy and intimacy to encourage that creativeness.
So it's not slap some polished concrete, expose the ceilings, and pack as many people in as you possibly can?
Correct.
Okay, good.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
And I think lastly, one thing that you hear a lot about is the hybrid or the flex model. Tell us what that means to you. Tell us what challenges you see with it, what advantages you see to it. Maybe just give us your thought on it.
Well, I think especially with COVID now, all businesses recognize that they have certain functions of their business can be remote, but I think all of them, every owner that I talk to, every tenant I talk to, see that at least some portion of their business needs that face-to-face interaction. So that's one of the major questions that we deal with in design is where they see that percentage and how do they deal with the all hands meeting that happen every month or every quarter, or for the event when people want to come back to the office. They don't want to get to a point where people show up and there's no space for them.
Yeah.
So that's always a challenge, and it differs from industry to industry, business to business.
Sure.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate you on starting
Thank
your
you.
own firm. I think that is truly what a badass would do. I think that's awesome. Maybe just tell us real quick, and this is like an opportunity for you to like have a little commercial. Like, why did you start your own firm, and what's going to be different, and how will you service your customers?
Sure. Well, I started my
Totally
own firm.
putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
so
no,
sorry.
it's good. I appreciate that. I started my own firm because that's always been my dream. Before I went to school, that's always to have my own firm. But having the own firm, it's really not about the glamour or the ownership. It's really I just love what we do, and our team loves what we do. And so in terms of the things that you mentioned early on about turnaround times being responsive, I feel like that's just who we are and what we have to do. And we understand the leasing transaction really well, which is why speed is a major component of it, especially with deals and many tenants looking at different options at the same time.
Mhm.
So you'll always get that customer service for us. We like to design a great product because that's what we love to do. But we also want to make the process for you, for the clients, fun.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be a stressful process, even though there are many unknowns from when we start the project. But it's also an enjoyable process.
Yeah.
And we want everybody to experience that.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
time. I know I didn't give you a lot of prep time, but
Oh, appreciate
I
it.
feel like this was extremely valuable. Hopefully, you guys found it of value. Once again, this is Mike Adams and this is Dickson, and we want to be a continued resource for you. So if you guys have anybody that you think would be a great guest on the show, or if you've got questions, and or if you're thinking about buying, selling, and or leasing commercial real estate in Orange County, please let us know if you enjoyed the interview. Like, comment, or share, and or subscribe. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.